Hey guys, welcome back to Time Machine Scale Models. Well, when it rains, it pours. I gotta tell you. So you guys know that I was putting the decals on this thing, and although they were being a pain in the butt, they were kind of old, and they were having, they were giving me a hard time coming off the backing paper. They were in pretty good shape. There was no tears, no cracks, nothing. And it took a little work to lay them down and get them laid down properly, but they look good. So then I let it set overnight, and it was time to put some clear coat on the thing. So my process is that normally I put a very, very light mist coat of clear coat on there to lock in the decals. And after each coat, I inspect the decals to make sure they're not crinkling up or anything, and everything's going as it should. Well, that's what was happening. So I put the first mist coat on, waited 15 minutes, applied another mist coat, and everything looked great. There was no problems. It was looking really good. So I went and I put a third medium coat on there and inspected that, and it looked good. Fourth medium coat, everything looked good, and I was like, okay, next coat, I'm going to hit it with a heavier coat. So in between the first and second was 15 minutes, between the second and third was 15 minutes, between the third and fourth was probably more like 20 minutes. And when I came back to do the fifth heavy wet coat, probably about 20-25 minutes, I'd say. Okay, so it was looking good, and like I said, in between each coat of clear coat, I inspected the decals to make sure everything was looking good, and it was. There was no issues. I started hitting it with a heavier wet coat, fifth heavier wet coat. And for all intents and purposes, as we started to lay that heavier wet coat, it was looking good. About 30 seconds later, I went and I looked at it, and I noticed that the decals started crinkling. And this isn't the first time. I've used TS13, and each time that I've used TS13, that's exactly what's happened to me. Now, I've taken advice from a lot of people that have used TS13, especially on decals, and I've used their process, and I'm still having issues with it. So, what I did observe, though, it wasn't necessarily the decal. It was all the clear decal film around the decal, and it was crinkling. All right. So, it was a mess last night, as you could see in this picture. So, what I decided to do, take a step back, wait till this morning, and try to wet sand all the crinkles out, which I was pretty successful in doing. It doesn't look too bad, except for this side. On this side, you'll notice we cut through the decal here and here on here, okay? But everywhere, oh, and the rat's tail. Is it this one or this side? No, it is this one. The rat's tail up here, which isn't too bad. Okay, I burned through the paint here and up here by the cowl. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue on with this. I'm done wet sanding. It's going to be what it's going to be. I'm going to put some secret sauce on this as clear coat, also known as Revive, Pledge Revive, and see how it turns out. Here is the sad part. I'm not going to send this one to Tom. It's not going to be my best build. It's not going to be my worst build. But I wanted to do something really nice for Tom, send it to Tom. This is his appreciation build after all. And I just don't think this one is worthy. I'm going to finish this one up, and I'm going to put it on the shelf and admire it from afar, I guess. So, ordinarily, I would go ahead and I'd strip it down, get another set of decals and redo it. But to be honest with you, this kit was suggested to me by Fred Henry when I was looking for a subject to do for the appreciation build. And this isn't a kit that I would ordinarily build as it is. And I reached out to Matt over at Spotlight Hobbies, and he happened to have one over there, and I went over there and got it, and I built it. Well, after this started happening last night, I took to the internet to find replacement decals to see if maybe Mike's or another one of these decal suppliers actually have these, and I couldn't find any. I took to eBay, excuse me, took to eBay, couldn't find anything. The closest thing I could find was a parts kit that had no body, had all the parts and pieces, and it had decals, intact decals. And they want 25 bucks for that. And to be honest with you, I'm really not interested in doing that. I'm not interested in going that route. So I'm going to touch up where I burned through here and up on the cowl. I'll let that dry. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use some Pledge Revive, brush it on here, let it dry, and see how it turns out. But yeah, Tom, I apologize, my friend, but this isn't something that I want to send to you. So we're going to look for an alternative for you, maybe a 32 coupe or something else. But that's what I got, guys, and I will do a final on this, even though this isn't, it's not going to turn out the way I intended it, but we'll do a final on this to show you guys how it turned out. Alright guys, that's all I got for now. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday, and if you guys are experiencing these snowstorms, stay safe. Thanks for watching.